Hey everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. We are Ian Bickle and Stephen Brewers. How are you doing, Stephen?
I'm very good. It seems we do not have Craig here this time, but
Well,
yeah, I'm very good. Keeping well. So far, so good. Safe,
keeping
and
safe.
I'm safe. I'm no signs of COVID over here.
Oh, good, good.
What
That's
about yourself?
yes, yeah. I'm staying alert. Um, I'm always on the alert for COVID.
Controlling the virus.
Yeah. Just stay alert, everyone. It's good, guys. As long as you're alert, you're gonna be okay for this microscopic, unseen risk that we're going through right now. But be alert. Yeah, so we thought we'd just get on a podcast and upload a video as well, let you know where we are. Obviously, the last video we done was in regards to potentially opening on the 4th. Clutching straws a bit there, I think. But we now know nothing still. But
Yeah, we're as in the dark as ever.
yeah, but we have a feeling that things are going to be probably happening in the next 2-3 weeks. So we thought we'd just give an update on what we've been doing in the meantime.
Yeah, obviously, there's been rumours now that it's going to be mid-July. I know government officials said that they aim to have gyms open within 2 weeks after they announced that we weren't going to be opening on the 4th. So, we're kind of just holding out for an announcement, really. There's at the minute, there's no scheduled announcement to go out. So we're kind of as in the dark as ever, and as you guys, that we don't actually know when the announcement is going to come. If it's going to come, if it's going to be delayed. So, hopefully, like Ian said, it is going to be in the next couple of weeks. But
This is a direct message to that incoherent voice message we got on our
yeah,
2B-FIT answering phone. Some guy left no details, no name, no number. So this is for you, asking when the gyms are going to reopen. We don't know.
that's my answer for everything at the minute. People asking us questions about the gym when it reopens. I was like,
Yeah.
like
For those listening, Stephen's making a I don't know gesture.
yeah, a shoulder shrug and hands out to the side emoji kind
Yeah.
of response. Yeah, again, like every single video we seem to record, we're not getting any further information from the government. We'll get information as an announcement is made publicly. There's no secret email or group that goes around to gym owners all over the country to say you guys can open soon or anything like that. We're unfortunately just in the dark and waiting for said announcement, which is hopefully going to be soon because like Ian mentioned earlier, we have been in the gym. We have been doing a lot of work to the place, trying to get it ready so that when we do get the green light, we're pretty much ready to open the doors.
Yeah, so I think obviously pubs are open. You can go for a drink on a Saturday night now, but you can't go to the gym for a workout. I think that's got a few people scratching their head. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about that. We can argue the case for gyms should be open, blah, blah, blah. But I think they're gradually just unlocking the country one step at a time. And, the government clearly felt that it would probably be more maybe profitable to the economy to allow that restaurants and things like that, not beauty salons, hair salons to open and pubs to open, restaurants before the health and leisure industry. So I don't know the reasoning behind that. I'm sure there is going to be something, some reason, but all we're doing, as Stephen's mentioned, is the best that we can. We haven't been given any guidelines. We're just kind of trying to, as best we can, project the potential guidelines that are going to be given, social distancing, hand sanitizers, all of that sort of stuff. But it's given us an opportunity as well to really kind of do a little bit of background work, as we said in a previous podcast, in order to, streamline our service even better. So when we do open, we can hit the ground running.
Yeah, I think that's it. What we've been doing like behind the scenes is we have mentioned it on a previous podcast and on posts and stuff on our social channels. the we installed the turnstile 3 days before we closed. But that's ready. That's functioning now. All our members have been transferred over to our new direct debit provider, Ashbourne, and with that provider, we actually have the ability to use an app, which we've been working on over the last few weeks. So we now have an app that's pretty much ready to go. If you didn't see the post in our members group, we do need everybody's details for them to be able to use the app. So the app's going to come with many features, but one that's going to be quite critical when we open is it will allow members to book onto classes, and potentially we're going to see this potentially book into the gym, the weight side as well. In order for you guys to be able to do that, we do need all your details on our membership system and software in the gym. So to avoid any kind of delays, if you just want to drop us a message with your full name, your date of birth, your address, your email address and phone number, we can make sure that your details on our files at the gym are up to date. So when you do come to be able to download that app, you can get straight into it and be able to use all the functions within it.
And we do ask that you send that to 2B-FIT, not to us personally, because ideally we want everything under one umbrella as opposed to having going here, there and everywhere. And certainly don't message Craig Manning your details, because he will be around for a cuppa like a shot.
Yeah, you don't need Craig knowing where you live.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so along like that app is going to be really good, and hopefully it's going to be ready as soon as we open. Like I said, class bookings are going to be crucial really when we open. So hopefully you've seen the stuff we've been putting out on social media. We put a video out last weekend. We've been putting photos and stuff. We've been in the gym over the last 3 to 4 weeks. We've kind of mapped out the class side. So now everyone in that class side, there's 10 stations. Each station is essentially a bay. It's a 3x2 meter rectangle on the floor. Each rectangle will hold all your equipment, so you'll not be going into the storeroom to get equipment for the classes. Everything you will need for that class or could need for any class will be either within or around your little working area. So what that really limits is the amount of distance you're going to have to travel when you get in the gym. And each of those bays is over a meter apart from the next person alongside you. So, in terms of social distancing guidelines, we're kind of going way above and beyond what the current measures are just out and about. Hopefully it's not going to be very different for gyms. Even if it does stay 2 meters, for gyms, I know it's down to a meter now or a meter plus. Even if it is 2 meters when gyms reopen, we know that what we've done is over and above that. Basically where you're going to be stood, you're going to be like at least 3 to 4 meters away from the next person who's working out. So we're kind of just doing, like Ian said, everything we can with the limited or no guidance that we've got to ensure that we can open the doors pretty much straight away when we get that green light. But in terms of the class sides, there's 10 of those bays. That's as many as we could get in the gym. We don't know if the government's going to say exercise classes are limited to 8, to 10, to 12, to 15, whatever. We don't know how they're going to announce that. Hopefully it's done on a gym by gym basis. And, our class side of the gym is pretty much 4,000 square foot. It's not like a small exercise studio. So hopefully there's no guidance that comes out that it's just a certain amount of people regardless of the size, which wouldn't make any sense. But and also I think the way things have gone over the last few months probably wouldn't surprise us massively. There's some rules and stuff that kind of still don't make a lot of sense. I can now PT people indoors in my house if I want to do, in their house, but I couldn't take one client to the gym that's 9,000 square foot and train them on a one-to-one basis, which it doesn't make sense. But like Ian said previously, we don't make the rules. All we can do is adhere to them and be as professional as we always are.
And I suppose if you don't adhere to the rules, you're probably potentially, if caught out, facing one hell of a fine. And it's not...
Yeah, I think there's some pretty severe fines and penalties, and it's just not worth it. We want to open when we're allowed to do so, and in the safest possible way as well. I think that's a big thing. The safety of you guys, our members, of us in our kind of wider families, your family, our family, and is paramount. So we're not rushing at things. We mentioned earlier, weeks ago, when we could train outside, that it just wasn't feasible. We're not doing things to be awkward, I guess. We're trying to do things as best as possible. We can't actually use the car park. It's not part of our lease. It's not our property. Our landlord has been funny with us in the past using the car park. We kind of push it going out for little runs and stuff, but we try and limit those to evenings when no other businesses are in our site. And we've hired out pretty much 80% of our equipment, so there's very little there. And outdoors is very weather dependent, and as you'd be aware, the last few weeks has been very changeable with weather. I know other gyms are doing stuff outside, but we don't want to have to cancel classes last minute because of weather changes and stuff like that. We're kind of just holding out to be able to open it and able to offer a good service.
Yeah, and I think as well, because our class side are limited, and a lot of people do the classes at the gym, let's say this time could be seen as a bit of a palate cleanse in terms of returning back to training. We've recorded tutorial videos for each bit of equipment in the gym side, because that's often the feedback from a lot of people who do the classes, is they're slightly intimidated by the gym side. They don't know how X, Y, and Z works. So what we're hoping to do is provide a little bit more context on how to organize your training, how to lift weights, what you're sort of doing, what proximity to failure you should be at, how many total working sets should you do, all of this sort of stuff, but also like how to actually safely and effectively use the equipment. So last week was a fun job of recording demonstration videos, narrating how to do it. I'm really monotone, by the way. I don't know if anybody noticed that. No, and then making thumbnails, uploading them, QR codes, and all that stuff. But all you literally need to do is open your camera. I didn't know this. Stephen taught me this. I thought you had to have a QR code app, but you can just literally open your camera, hold it over the QR code, and the link will just pop up to the YouTube video on how to do it, how to perform the exercises. So it's that just kind of means that if you're still unsure, you can of course ask an instructor, but it's just limiting contact between people as well, us and you as patrons, customers. So it's just something else that we've had time to add, and we hopefully will continue to add more to that side of stuff as well.
Yeah, I think that was an absolute cracking idea, and I can't take any credit for that. That was all Ian. But yeah, like Ian said, it's so simple for customers now to be able to come in, go to a machine they might not be familiar with, scan that code, and watch a tutorial video on how to perform exercises on that machine. It means, like you said, it's now you don't need an instructor to come over to show you how to use that machine, and to then have to clean it all down before you go and do a set yourself. It means, hopefully you can watch this video and be able to perform exercises safely and comfortably yourself without relying on an instructor, because we are going to be slightly stretched as well when we open. There's no doubt going to be lots of regulations in place. We're changing a few things the way we're running. There's going to be more classes going forward, so there's our time is going to be slightly stretched, more so than what it was beforehand.
Yeah, and I think as well it's going to be a while before it's like it was.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's been coming up 4 months now, 16 weeks or so since we've actually had to shut our doors. So in return, and you've just got to remember that coming back to the gym is better than what it has been the past 4 months. So we're going to have to obviously limit the class time so we can put more on, because we're only limited to 10 people per session. So the hour-long boot camps, for example, they for the time being are scrapped.
Yeah, there's had to be changes, and like Ian said, I think what we need to remember is the gym being open to a slightly limited capacity is better than the gym being closed or not open at all. So we've done our best. We've sat down with Craig, and we've come up with a timetable, and there has been some changes. Like what we're having to do is leave 15 minutes gap in between every session in order for the class that's just finished to clean down all the equipment they've used, so it's clean for the next class coming in, and also to get those 10 members out before the next 10 members come in, so there's not 20 people all congregating in the doorway for classes. And like Ian said, unfortunately, boot camps at the minute, we're unable to do, just because of the nature of a boot camp class. We'd be moving around lots of different stations, using things like the prowlers, going and doing other bits and pieces and moving around the gym. Just the very nature of that class means it's impossible to do, given the guidelines that will no doubt be in place. Like I mentioned before, people are going to be limited to a 3x2 meter rectangle on the floor, which kind of only leaves us options to do a HIIT class and a workout of the day class, where we can kind of really limit, or you can kind of perform them in one area. So just to kind of reiterate, you'll have a little grid on the floor, and that will have everything. So every station's going to have a rower. Alternate station's going to either have a bike erg and a ski erg there. You'll have bars, kettlebells, everything like that, a box in each one or around each one. Ab mats, dumbbells, that kind of thing. So everything will be performed within your area. There's, like I said before, there's gaps between each one, to go to toilets and stuff like that. Hopefully we'll be allowed to open toilets. We don't know anything. There's no guidelines at present of what capacity we can open to. So we're just trying to predict everything, and if toilets can't be opened straight away, when they can open, there is a designated path and walkway to and from the toilets to your stations. So it's not ideal, but what we're trying to do to combat the smaller class numbers, we've made workout of the days 45 minutes now rather than an hour, to allow for 15 minutes cleaning of equipment. HIITs will remain at 30 minutes, but boot camps, unfortunately, for the time being, we removed those from the timetable. But to combat shorter classes and reduce numbers, we've actually increased the amount of classes we're doing. So we'll be posting a timetable up soon, but as a little idea, previously we maybe do 3 or 4 classes over the course of a day, sometimes 5. Now there's kind of 7 to 9 classes a day. There's a couple on a morning, around about a 9:30 class, and then there's sometimes 4 or 5 on an evening. So just to kind of combat the reduced numbers, really. I know a few people asking about open gym. Again, like the boot camp, open gym just isn't feasible. We can't have people training outside or alongside a class that's going on, because there simply isn't the space. We're a class-based gym, and classes have to take priority. So we can't have members training alongside a class that's going on. There is, in the timetable, lots of open gym availability around the classes, after the classes, but the way open gym will work, it will be like the class. You will have to go and stay within a 3x2 meter square. All your equipment's there. The way open gym used to run, where you kind of just pop your stuff anywhere and kind of move around and stuff like that, we won't be able to work it like that. It's unfortunate, because that would be how I train, but everything has to kind of have a little bit of give going forward. And things like walking lunges across the gym, handstand walks, things like that, or shuttles in the gym, they just can't happen, because you're going to walk across 3 or 4 different bays, and you've got to remember, everything that everybody is going to touch has to be cleaned when they finish their session. And the aim is to try and reduce the amount of equipment, floor, everything like that people are going to touch when they come to the gym, to make sure that everything can be cleaned thoroughly and properly after the sessions.
Because obviously everything's just, we're doing it reactionary. We don't know even how beneficial all this will be. we're just trying our best, and this is how we feel intuitively will be the best way moving forward. So a lot of people we know are doing their own programs, or programs that are um, done through other parties and all of that sort of stuff. And a lot of them ask for people to do X, Y, and Z. So I'd imagine if these programs are any good, they should be facilitating that
Yeah,
anyway.
I think that, everybody has to understand that times have changed. Everything's changed. Driving to the supermarket and going and doing your weekly shop is now different. Going to the pub is different. Um, I think it would be unfair to assume that just going to the gym would be as it was, 5, 6 months ago. Like everything in life has changed, unfortunately, for the minute. We don't know how long it is, how long this could last. It could be in a month's time. The gym could be open for a week or two, and they could say, all right, social distancing isn't a thing anymore, and then we can go back to normal or what we were. But we're just trying to react to the situation in the most professional way possible. And unfortunately, there is going to be people who are upset. Boot camps, not having those anymore, not having open gym alongside classes is going to upset some people. But it's not our aim. It's not what we want to do. It's just an unfortunate result of trying to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, and I think as well, if you draw a comparison to other fitness companies that maybe doing that sort of thing and just returning back to normal, and then it's really a kind of a lack of care and duty on their behalf. They should be, following these guidelines as closely as we are, and ultimately looking after your health and your family's health. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the big thing for us. Like we've mentioned it earlier, and we've mentioned in previous episodes that the health and well-being of you, your wider family, us, our wider family is what is important here. Um, you know, we want to open, but we only want to open when it's safe to do so. And we're going kind of above and beyond any regulations or what we think will be regulations to ensure that that happens. And we hope that you guys can understand that and are on board with that. And you have to be. It's literally going to be a case of when you come to the gym, you have to clean everything you're going to use. You're going to have to antibac your hands on the way in, the way out. You're going to have to constantly be washing and antibacting them throughout your workouts. You're going to have to clean everything you've used in that gym. And it's annoying. We know it is. And we know it's a lot to ask, but that's the way it's going to have to be for at least the time being until anything changes.
I mean, they could turn around tomorrow and say like it's compulsory to wear face masks to the gym.
Yeah, we don't know. People keep asking us questions like that. We'll have to wear face masks. We don't know.
As staff, we will be wearing face masks as well.
Yeah, we
When
will be. And I mean, if you want to wear them, great. But at the minute, it's not compulsory. We don't know if it's going to be made compulsory or if it's going to be highly recommended. If it is, it might be the case that we do ask everyone to wear them. But until we kind of get any more information from the government on date of reopening and hopefully some guidelines, everything's just a little bit of guesswork, a lot of educated guesswork at the minute.
Yeah, and I think each of us has a responsibility to look after the people around us, so you've got to kind of take that responsibility very, very highly, as opposed to just kind of, I don't know, judging by other people's standards, kind of set your own and make sure that you're doing all you can to help those around you.
Yeah, I think that's it. You've got to have a high standard, and we are hopefully setting a very high standard. And that's not an optional thing. You can't say at the end of a class, all right, I need to shoot. I need to leave bang on 7 o'clock. I can't clean my stuff down. That's not an option. You have to.
Yeah, you finish the class 5-10 minutes earlier then.
Yeah, things like that. Everything has to be cleaned, and we expect that from you guys. We're all adults here. we know the consequences of this virus, and we have to all kind of like group together. We talk about the gym being a community, and this is where we really need to pull together. We've done great over the last few months through lockdown, like kind of virtually pulling together, doing classes online, supporting each other through workouts and stuff like that. But when the gym doors do open, we have to kind of pull together and ensure that everyone is maintaining the standards that we will be setting in terms of health and safety and hygiene.
Yeah, and other things as well. Will be limiting people booking into multiple classes, so you won't be able to do one hit after the other because we've got kind of the fair usage policy going on. But again, Stephen and I and Craig also will be assessing things on a kind of a weekly to fortnightly basis, seeing what's working, seeing what doesn't work, and kind of being as vocal as we and transparent as we possibly can through this sort of medium.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like we're just trying our best here. Like we don't know if the timetable we've created is going to work well. We don't know if some of those classes, extra classes we put on, are going to like get filled or not. And like Ian says, we are going to be reviewing things on a weekly to fortnightly basis. Anything that's not working will be changed. Anything that's working well will stay. And that goes with regards to everything throughout the gym, not just the classes and stuff like that. All the kind of hygiene and health and safety measures and stuff will be reviewed.
And the thing is as well, if you are furloughed, if you have reduced working hours, if you have unfortunately been made unemployed, get down when it's going to be quieter. During the day, during the afternoon, open gym, it's going to be minimal contact with people, because the more people that get in at the same time increases the risk factor, I'd imagine. So, if you can get to the earlier classes, or the ones that are going to be less busy, that's only going to benefit you and the other people as well who can only do the later classes.
Yeah, I think that's that's a big thing, guys. Like we have to understand that the early morning class, the 6 a.m. class is generally quite a busy class, and then or just gym time, and then the 5 till about 7 o'clock classes in gym side, that's the busiest time. If you can come later or earlier, great. Like be respectful for those people who are unable to come through the day. If you've got a day off, or like Ian says, you're able to get an hour off for your lunch if you're working from home and stuff like that, please try and come to at those times that are going to be quieter.
Yeah, it's just shuffling things about for the time being. Hopefully, we'll all look back and laugh about this whole situation. Hey, remember 2020?
Remember when we couldn't go to the gym together?
Yeah, but time's going to pass regardless, and as we said earlier, see it as an opportunity to change things up. You're coming back to the gym with a kind of a blank slate. Get into the weight side as well. Supplement your training, because that's obviously as Stephen's mentioned, the machines are like a meter apart. You're going to have to train a little bit more intelligently. So, for example, no maxing out on bench press, where you need someone to literally sit over you to spot you. And just maybe it's an opportunity to educate a little bit more, and we can help do that on training.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We're there to help, guys. If you have any questions or anything like that, use us. But as Ian mentioned there, in terms of social distance and stuff like that, unfortunately, people are going to be unable to train together. Whether that's in the weight side of the gym, people spotting each other on stuff like a bench press or a squat, that unfortunately won't be able to go ahead. Same, in the kind of the class side of the open gym, there'll be no partner workouts or anything like that where people are sharing equipment. It's not something we'll be able to do going forward. Social distancing is a thing. We can't just neglect that and push it to the side so people can do a partner workout, and that goes right across the timetable and right across the gym. So it's we won't be doing paired workouts in like classes, but you can't come down in an open gym session. Me and Ian couldn't go down together and do a
Uh,
paired workout together.
I mean, that's the thing with, like, obviously, there's so many different variables, and you can kind of shoehorn an argument for people in support bubbles and living in the same household and all of that sort of stuff. So, as we said, we don't know yet. We haven't definitively set our regulations up, but these are the things that we are considering right now until we get a definitive, right, this is what you need to do answer. So I'd imagine if you live with someone and you're training legs together, you swapping between leg presses, you won't have to clean the equipment. It's just something as commonsensical as that. But like, you can't be changing your support bubble. Is that a word, commonsensical?
I don't think it's a
It
word.
is. It is. It is one now. Get onto the dictionary, Oxford. But like, obviously you just can't be changing your support bubble every day.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We like we mentioned. Everyone's got to have this kind of level of understanding and care, and it's an unfortunate thing because everyone likes to train with the friends, but we can't see it being able to happen for some time now. You can't come and unfortunately spot people or do a partner workout where you're sharing equipment and stuff like that, because you're just increasing the chance of something happening. And what we are trying to do, at 2B-FIT, is reduce that chance of anyone contracting or spreading the virus to as low as possible.
Yeah, and the reality is, they've shut down the likes of Melbourne for another 6 weeks. In Australia, Leicester's still shut. I think I was reading Israel, they've had to shut all of the pubs and things like that. So, I don't think the government are going to kind of even, second guess shutting shit down again. Pubs around the country have had to shut because patrons have, contracted coronavirus. So I think in reality, we want to, as individuals, as a country, we need to kind of be, be alert.
Yeah, like the only way we're going to get through this, and the quickest way through this, is that we all kind of like stay alert.
Yeah. Stay alert, guys.
It's the best chance of us beating this is everyone kind of pulling together and doing everything we can.
Yeah.
It only takes one or two people to kind of be like, nah, doesn't matter. I'll go and kind of train on that, and then I'll jump and train on that, and do and not clean things between them touching bits and pieces. And that could be all it takes for an outbreak to happen in the gym. And that is the last thing we ever want. So all these rules and regulations and guidance we will have and be putting out soon, and not us being dicks. The us, having a very high level of respect and duty of care as business owners and gym owners.
Yeah, I think as well, don't be afraid as well to. I think because we've got a bit of a tight knit community, everybody will be helpful of one another. But if you see another member's standard slipping, just say, come on, how? Like, they shouldn't take offence to that, because we're all in the same boat. We all should be helping each other. We certainly, as instructors, will be saying, come on, like, how? Help us out here a little bit. But yeah, we thought we'd just throw together a relatively quick video, and I think probably in the next one we'll talk a little bit more about the classes, the booking system, how to go about booking into classes and other things, and maybe by then we'll have a little bit more information.
Yeah, hopefully we hear something over the next few days to week.
Yeah, so I think that'll probably do us there. You got any final words?
No, guys, just thank you for listening, and like I said, please try and understand that we are doing this. Are we doing everything we can to be as safe as possible? It's like we keep saying, we're not trying to be awkward. We, we've hated being shut as much, if not a lot more, than what you guys have hated us being shut. We can't wait to open, and we're doing everything we can to keep you and ourselves and our wider families safe. So please understand that that's where that's the base of all our decisions going forward. The safety of everyone.
Yes. Good words. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to stay alert, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, guys.